Welcome to Pitch Day for 500K. Today we're going to hear from Kaleb first from Bumpr and then Akshay from Host Easy. And congratulations to both of you guys for kind of going through the gauntlet to get here. The companies represent the top candidates from the screening process. We usually evaluate 15 or 20 companies for everybody that gets to stand up here and pitch. So congrats for and thanks for going through the process to get here. For anybody who's new to the program out there, Startup NV is Nevada's statewide nonprofit startup accelerator and incubator. We operate seven free entrepreneurship programs and 4 investment funds. And it's supported by government grants, corporate sponsors, and reinvested returns from successful accelerator companies. Our fortnightly pitch day offers companies the opportunity to join our accelerator program with investment from Fund NV, our investor syndicate, plus matching funds from Nevada's SSBCI program. Plus, you get a whole bunch of questions asked to you tonight, too, which will sort of toughen you up for other investors who you might be pitching in front of. As of today, our program has invested in 22 different companies with $9.5 million invested directly, and that investment has grown to $27.4 million in assets under management. So pretty good for our investors so far. Partner co-investments, like from Nevada's SSBCI program and others, have amplified our impact significantly. Now, legal disclaimer before we get started, today's pitches are for investment from our legally compliant venture funds and syndicate. That's restricted to SEC accredited investors and Nevada certified investors. And we welcome the community to attend our pitch days for educational purposes, kind of like watching Shark Tank, but hopefully a little nicer. Now, these pitches, therefore, are not a general solicitation for investment. I'd like to thank our sponsors, the City of Las Vegas, Clark County, the Governor's Office of Economic Development, the EDA, and the USDA. Thanks so much for your support. We couldn't do what we do without your support. We are going to start today with Kaleb, and I saw his lovely shining face on the screen there a minute ago. Here he is. So Kaleb, whenever you're ready, take it away.
Excited to give you guys a bit of an update. I know that you have been following or that you guys have been watching from afar, and so excited to show you a little bit about what we're doing here at Bumpr. And for those of you who haven't, for the first time, excited to explain a little bit about something you probably have seen around your city. Billboards are broken. I would preface this by a story. I was always a marketing genius, and I was running a campaign for a company that I was doing before. I was a landscaping company, and there was a dry spell coming on, and I thought it would be smart to run a billboard campaign. I had never done it before. And so we, through the process and grabbed the billboard location on the corner of a major intersection, and it was going to be a really hot spell, and so I thought it was cool to, what was it? It was a cool call to action that we had up there. That was like, the heat's coming, we got you covered. And so we had to sign a contract for 3 months, get the creative up there. And it was like the 2 days after, like the billboard went up, it started raining like for 2 weeks straight. And it made me really frustrated because I wasn't able to change the creative. We now had a call to action that was not applicable to the screen or to the billboard that we had up. And I was locked in for 3 months and couldn't do anything about it. So like 50 million businesses rely on advertising to grow. And specifically in billboards, $50 billion are spent on billboards internationally, globally every year. And they're seeing declining engagement. Even though the industry is growing, it's time for a reform. And so I'm going to show you guys a little bit about what we're building here, but we're building a next generation advertising platform that combines our smart hardware with real-time software. And so we are building an AI-powered backend that puts advertisers back in control. This allows for people to launch campaigns in a time and place that they see necessary. We actually put these on our rear window one-way transparent screens. You likely have seen them across Las Vegas. We have 125 going right now. And we've worked with some pretty prominent brands, including the UFC, the Department of Homeland Security, Barbie, and the Vegas Golden Knights. A little bit about how we make money. Each screen brings in $500 a month of revenue. We sell that a bit differently, but just for numbers' sake, $500 per screen. Each screen costs us $600, and our operating costs to run the software on the back end and to the amortization is $115. So at 100% fill rate, we're paying off those screens in 3 months. Basically, what we're doing is finding rideshare drivers who'd like to put a bumper screen in their car. We pay them, and then we go and sell the advertising to large brands looking to have unmissable advertising. The market's growing. Here on I have 40 billion. It's actually grown to 50 since. But yeah, it's growing at an 8.9% compound annual growth rate a year. And what's interesting is like advertising in general is actually a $1 trillion industry when outside of billboards. And so billboards is only a $40 billion industry and advertising is $1 trillion. And the reason that is because billboards have always had an Achilles heel that you can't track the user all the way through and to their purchase point. With the restrictions on privacy and the increase in data and the ability now to track people after they've been exposed to a bumper screen and billboard all the way to purchase, I'm betting, and a lot of people are excited to see the inflow of cash from the $1 trillion digital industry into the $40 billion out of home. And so that's what we're looking to capture is the growth in this market. When talking about advertising on vehicles and commoditizing advertising on vehicles, there are a number of different bolt-on products and people that have done this before. And there's actually been quite a few acquisitions in the past 5 years, all close to anywhere between 6 to recently we saw Vistar go for, let me see, move that out here, 15.7x revenue. And so these companies are being snatched up quick, and big buyers like T-Mobile are purchasing these companies like ourselves. So to date, last year we did we launched 125 screens in Las Vegas, and we did $125,000 of revenue on those screens. Here into 2025, we've got $11,000 of monthly recurring revenue. We've patented our screen. We have a provisional patent on the business model and the process to upload content to the screen. We worked with 14 clients, 125 units deployed in Las Vegas, over 400 million impressions delivered this last year, and we've raised $300,000. I told you a little bit about who we've worked with, but people have really enjoyed working with us so far. Our ethos here at Bumpr is utilizing technology to maximize impact while minimizing capital-intensive workflows. And so whether that's a rear window screen or AI-generated or AI content that helps put advertisers back in control and launch campaigns in places that make sense, that's what we do here. Rather than fighting the AI sharks in the deep tech space, you know, we're taking AI and we're taking this technology into not a dying, but like a legacy industry that's needed. Reform is needed. And so like our competitor screens are $9,600, but we're coming in closer to $600. And so all of our unit economics are like perfectly aligned with our ethos, bringing advertisers unmissable ads at a very cost-efficient rate. For us to become a unicorn, it looks like 15,650 of our rear window screens around the US. It's about a quarter of Allegiant Stadium. It's not that many screens. I believe we're going to do this before 2029. And so these are the next cities that we would need to launch our screens in. And this is our roadmap to $1 billion. Before we get there, I'll tell you a little bit about our tech. And so we have Bumpr.live, which is our ad server, our proprietary ad server that connects with our screen, which right now it's a rear window transparent screen. We have contracts with our drivers and the IoT network that connects our screen with our server. And then we have a driver dashboard for our drivers to log on and see how much money they've made with us. And then we have an advertiser dashboard where they can log on and see the stats about their campaign live. I talked a little bit about why our solution is better, but bumper screens, drivers are actually 5 times more likely to put a bumper screen in their car than a competitor screen, which is maybe would go on the top of the vehicle. A reason for this would be the unobtrusiveness of it, and also the relationship in the with us as a brand, and our integration into Stripe and into their payment processing. So they get paid every month. And it just seamlessly works into their budget. And so when they want it to be on, they can turn it on. And when they want to go on a date, they can turn it off. It doesn't decrease their fuel efficiency. They're able to go on a date and the car is still theirs. Yeah, and so it's an amazing piece of technology that helps Uber drivers make an extra buck. Clients actually come back spending 3 times more with us. We've had the pleasure of working with a number of different clients a few times, and often what happens is they want to just test this out the first time. And so they'll spend, $3,000, $5,000 with us the first time and come back spending, a longer contract is 6 months, $18,000, somewhere closer to there. And so what happens is people will often see the validation they get is people seeing it out in public and taking pictures on their phone and saying, hey, look at this, I saw this. And so we'll get emails saying oh my goodness, the compliments were so amazing. The ads, the post-campaign reports were great. The stats were amazing. We're definitely going to be using you guys again in the future. So the team is made up of me, Kaleb, my co-founder, Campbell. We also have Trevor and Nathan. And then here we have some strategic investors who have built big companies in this space that have put put their money where their mouth is and invested in us also. So Chava is in Vegas, and he runs an out-of-home company or a billboard company where he does 8 figures in revenue. Andrew Glancy has built a 9-figure revenue business internationally and globally, and he's been helpful through introductions, and will be helpful in the future for a few big deals coming up. Before we get to $1 billion, we just want to go to the next 5 markets. And so the next 5 markets includes Las Vegas, Miami, LA, New York, and Dallas. This is a roadmap that we want to be at in 2 years. Before we even get to that, we want to get to $1 million in revenue. And we don't actually even need to go outside Vegas to do that. We're 150K right now, and we're trying to get to $1 million in revenue at the end of this year. And that looks like onboarding 56 clients. And so 56 clients, they're roughly going to spend $18,000 with us over 6 months. Our cost to acquire them is $3,300.
All right, you've got 10 seconds left, Kaleb, if you want to get to the ask.
Yeah, sounds good. I can answer more about that in questions, but we're raising $500,000 to acquire those 56 customers at a $5.5 million post-money valuation. So I'll be happy to answer a few more of your questions in the question period. Thank you very much.
So a couple of quick reminders as we wrap up today. First, I want to say thanks to everybody who came out to visit with us tonight, and the folks who are online, and the folks who will be watching this later on YouTube. So a couple of quick reminders as we wrap up. For first, founders seeking capital, hop on into startupnv.org, put your application in there, give us your pitch deck, we'll review it, we'll put you through our paces. Hopefully you'll be one of the out of the 15 or 20 that'll get up here on the stage sometime soon. And those who are investors, jump in, the water's warm. I mean, we've put $9.4 million into 22 startups over the last 3.5 years. It's now worth $27.5 million. It's a pretty nice thing to see as an investor. So we've got a couple of funds. We've got the Angel Envy thing now going on. So if you want to jump into that, kind of learn this skill from the ground up, small entry price at $5,000 worth of an investment, $500 worth of a fee. So it's a pretty easy way to get in and learn it. As you kind of mature in your investing journey, thank you, Madeline, you can hop into Fund NV, which is the next step up. That's the investment fund that invests in companies just like you saw here tonight. Make $100,000 investments that get added onto, and then we've got our big boy fund, our $10 million seed fund, 1864. That makes $500,000 investments in companies that are probably a little further along. Like maybe at the end of the year, when you get to that $1 million, that's when 1864 will take a closer look. In the meantime, Fund NV is the game. So once you've invested in any one of those things, you become a member of our syndicate. We send out, I don't know, if you ask some of our investors, like, God, you guys are sending us deals all the time. other investors say, bring them on. We love seeing all these deals. So I'm not sure where you might be on the spectrum on there, but jump in, the water's warm. So either way, visit startupnv.org. We got a big investor page there. We got a bunch of information for founders. So come on in. Thanks again today to our founders who presented, all the attendees who are here in the room, all you guys who are here in the room, and everybody who was asking questions on the stream. And thanks also to our investor group, some of whom I saw on the stream watching tonight, and I know most of whom are going to watch later. So, and thanks to the Startup NV team, everybody who puts this on every couple of weeks for us. And we'll be back again in 2 weeks. We're going to hear from 2 more Nevada startups, and until then, take care of yourself, and if you can, somebody else too. We will see you in 2 weeks.